DACs. DACs. I see DACs everywhere. Today we are talking about yet another new DAC on the market, the most recent Fosi Audio ZD3. The ZD3 from Fosi Audio is a very capable DAC, and I must say it impressed me a lot, especially at its price, which is around 200 US dollars, but I'll talk more about the price later in this video. First, let's talk about the specs. So it is run by, I guess, the latest edition of the Sabre DAC ES90 39Q2M chip, and it employs a fully balanced architecture, which is good for the quality of the sound and especially the channel separation. It also employs balanced outputs, but also I'll discuss the outputs a bit later in the video. It offers, of course, very high-res audio resolution, up to 32-bit 768 kilohertz PCM, and 512 DSD. And of course, like most of the Chinese audio gear, it measures great on paper. It has really astonishing numbers. It has totally flat frequency response that you can see on the screen right now. The signal to noise ratio is very high, above 126 dB, which means that it can be very quiet when there is no noise, or the background is very dark, as we say in the audio. The total harmonic distortion is also very low, like 0.408%. Thanks to the ultra low noise LDO. I had to check what this means, and this means a low dropout regulator, which stabilizes voltage and reduces noise.
You're very smart, Joey.
It also has a very high dynamic range, above 123 dB, meaning it can quickly go from very loud to very quiet passages. And also features very low crosstalk, or good channel separation of minus 142 dB. So the most important features of this unit, besides its specs and technical numbers, first, it's the fact that it is also a preamp, or can serve as a preamp. So it has a volume control, and so everything you need is a power amp that is connected to this unit, and of course the digital source of music, like a streamer or at least a phone or a computer, and you're good to go. On the front, it has a nice OLED display, which is round. It makes it quite unique in the design. The design is, by the way, within the language of the Fosi Audio's design, with orange knob and rounded edges. It is the same size that their very popular ZA3 power amplifier is. Speaking about the display, it is crisp and nice and looks cool, but the only useful feature of it is that it shows the volume level when you change it on the DAC, because all the other information is so tiny that it's illegible unless you put it on your desktop and use it as your desktop DAC or preamp. But if it's a few feet away from you, you can't really read it. And it actually is meant to be used in your, I would say, main system, which is usually farther away from you and not on your desk, because it is also equipped with a remote control. And the remote control is pretty basic, one of those plasticky things, but it's very usable. It has volume control. You can switch input sources like coax, optical, USB, HDMI, which I will talk about it later, and Bluetooth as well. And it also has a dim function. I haven't even checked it, so let's see if it works. Well, does it work? It doesn't work in my case. So anyway, let's continue. So that's it at the front. On the back, let me unplug it. Since I've already shown you the display, I can safely unplug it from the power. And by the way, it comes with an external power supply. It's like a Walmart 12 volt power supply. So it means that you can also use an external linear power supply, which might help boosting the sound quality even higher. So now let's have a quick look at the back. So as I said, it has XLR, so balanced outputs, as well as a pair of unbalanced outputs, the usual RCAs. So while this provides the highest quality of signal, this offers versatility, because many amplifiers or preamplifiers do not have balanced XLR inputs. For the inputs, we have USB that offers the highest quality, or the highest bitrate, which does not automatically translate into the highest quality of the sound, but the highest bitrate. I don't know why they stick to this USB-B type of input and not use USB-C. If you know why it's so, please let me know in the comment below. I'm really curious why such an old standard is still being used over widely popular USB-C. But anyway, let's go to other inputs. You have optical input, you have coaxial input. Oops, this one, the yellow. And you have Bluetooth antenna as well. I don't use Bluetooth, so I did not put the antenna in, but you can screw in a small plastic antenna. And the codecs that it has, they include aptX HD and lossless Apple's AAC codec, among others. So if you use Bluetooth, this will offer pretty high quality of the data transfer, at least high for Bluetooth. And one more interesting thing is that it has the HDMI ARC in, meaning that you can connect, for example, TV set to it and use it in your TV setup. So connect this to your TV, then to your power amplifier, and use your TV set as the source of music. If you have applications installed like Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, etc. on your TV, or use it to enhance the quality of a sound from your TV when watching movies, etc. Another or the last thing that you can see here are, let me point these in this way, are 12-volt trigger ins and outs. So it means that this unit can be automatically woken up by an external unit, for example streamer, that has a trigger out if you connect it with the proper cable, and it can also be hooked to, for example, an amplifier like the ZA3 that has a 12-volt trigger in, and it can automatically turn the amplifier on when there is when the music plays through it. So it means that you do not have to switch every piece of your equipment separately every time you use it, but just with one press of a button you switch on your entire system, which is pretty cool if you are into separates like I am. Operating this unit is very easy and straightforward. You just press and hold this button to turn it on, and do the same to turn it off, or use your remote control and press once to toggle between different music sources or signal sources. There are no other modes or filters, etc. Like for example with SMSL units, where you usually have different filters, different roll-offs, etc., etc. But I never use them, and from what I'm hearing from other reviewers, they also hardly ever use those different modes in their DACs. So for me, it is actually cool that it doesn't have it, because it makes it more simple. And speaking about simplicity, it also has a switch on the bottom. Let me zoom in, which says off and bypass, meaning if it's switched to the bypass mode, it means that the signal bypasses the volume control, and the volume is and the volume can be controlled on your amplifier that is connected to the DAC. So this might also positively affect the quality of sound, because there is a few less parts on the way of the signal path, so less possibility of distorting the signal. The strange thing is that if it's in the bypass mode and you turn the volume knob, the display would still change the volume number. However, of course, the volume or the signal strength is not affected. So the bypass works, but the screen shows different values, which is strange in my opinion. So speaking about the price. The MSRP of this one on Fosi Audio's website is $220, but on Amazon you can get it for $180, and on AliExpress in the official Fosi Audio store you can get it for even less, $170. On European eBay, you can get it for $190 in Fosi Audio's official store. I will put all those links in the description below so that you can check them and see which offer fits you best, because prices may vary depending on the current deals, offers, etc. So it's always best to check a few different potential shops if you are on the market for a DAC. If I was to characterize the sound of this unit, I would say that it's very detailed, yet not fully neutral. And by that I mean that it leans a little bit toward the warm side of things. It's not a squeaky clean. It has, I would say, a rich bass or richer bass than some other Delta Sigma DACs that can be very clean and very precise, but sometimes they lack the weight of the lower tones. Some time ago I reviewed the Fosi Audio ZA3 amplifier, and I compared to the V3 mono amplifier, and I characterized the sound of this DAC as of this amplifier as slightly warmer or fuller in the low bass region. And I think that this DAC follows the sonic characteristic of this amplifier, so they are meant to go together not only visually but also sonically. And this one, yeah, as I said, has similar traits. So it's very detailed, but not to the extent that it can be tiresome with higher notes, and is a bit fuller, richer at the bottom. The bass is, I would say, more expansive, but not woolly or mushy. It is still well controlled. It is textured, but there is a little bit more of it compared to, for example, to my so far favorite Delta Sigma DAC, SMSL SU8S, which I have been using for the past 2 or 3 years. I also compared the ZD3 with one of the recent DACs from FiiO. This is K11 R2R DAC. It has been pretty hyped recently because this is one of the most affordable R2R DACs on the market at the moment. And my review of this one is coming up soon, so please subscribe to the channel if you aren't yet, and stay tuned for the review of this one. So R2R DACs basically are known to be a bit richer and fuller in the mid-range usually, and this one is no exception. However, I would say that the ZD3 is of higher resolution than the FiiO. So if I were to compare these two, I would go for the ZD3, because I basically like the the sound of it a bit better. As I said, it offers a tad bit more resolution in the mid-range and upper frequencies. When it comes to pairing, as I've mentioned in my previous video, and as you can see from the mattress in the background, I'm in the middle of changing my apartment, so a lot of my gear is in the boxes, and this time I did not have the possibility to test it with all my amps and speakers, so I mostly listened to it using what was it? So,
5 minutes later.
two most recent or three most recent purchases, which are all bookshelf speakers, the Polk Audios. I will put the exact model on the screen below. The ELAC debut 6.2s, as far as I remember, and a pair of fine audios that only came 2 weeks ago to my house. And as for amps, I tested it with the Class D ZA3 from Fosi Audio, but the best result to my ears was when I paired it with also my recent purchase. Heavy. Oh, this is heavy. This is the classic Musical Fidelity A1 Class A amplifier, and this is the original version, so a vintage unit from the 80s. And it was really lovely. I mean, I mean that amp with Polk Audios and the ZD3 was a match made in heaven, at least for me. And of course, it's not only thanks to the DAC, but also thanks to the amp and the speakers themselves. But you know, you never listen to just the DAC. You always have a system. It is always only a part of the system, so you have to consider it as the whole package. And this combo was a really nice experience for me. So when we talk about pairing, I've already mentioned that this DAC is probably made to be used and matched with Fosi Audio's ZA3 amplifier, which is wildly popular, and it has the same visual cues, and is from the same line. I also said that sonically they match very well, and also technically, because they both have balanced inputs and outputs. They both have trigger ins and trigger outs, so you can connect them with no problem using and you know, use the full potential of those two units. But I have one request or suggestion for the audio. If you watch this video, please consider creating an amp that is just a power amplifier. Just get rid of the volume control and leave or make a pure amplifier like ZP3 maybe, P for power amplifier. I give you this name for free, no royalties, so go ahead and use it. Because this unit already has a volume attenuation or volume control, so there is no point doubling this same functionality in the amplifier. And this way you could make it cheaper because there will be less parts, and probably a tad more, uh, you know, more listenable, because there will be one less part uh, in the signal source. And maybe put some holes on the top so we can easily swap op amps in the amplifier. Maybe, you know, like a flap, or something, so that we don't have to take this whole unit apart when we want to swap op amps. And speaking about op amps, I forgot to mention that this DAC is also op amp swappable. And as we have already learned, op amps are what makes a very big difference in units like this. So if you want to experiment, you can also take this unit apart, you know, just unscrew a few screws here and there. And also you unfortunately need to be mindful of this switch that you also need to undo, and then from what I heard, fiddle a bit taking it back inside. But you can change op amps in the ZD3 as well, and with this also improve or change the sound characteristics of the unit. So that's it. That's my take on the ZD3 DAC from Fosi Audio, DAC / preamplifier from Fosi Audio. I really like the unit, and if you are on the market for a DAC at around $200, you should definitely put this on your shortlist and at least give it a try in your system and see how it performs in your system, in your room, and how it matches with other components that you own. You will most probably be very satisfied. So that's it for today. My name is Greg. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.